Google SEO is not dead, but it will never be the same. Google is now going crazy on AI overwhelms, and not just for logged-in users. AI overwhelms are now being triggered everywhere, even when you try to search anonymously on mobile and for much longer search query. AI overwhelms are still being triggered. Google is also keep changing the search result page, rolling out huge algo updates. Just like this example for super long query, you can see the search results. We have sponsor ads, AI overwhelms, people also ask section, video results, Reddit and discussion, and then finally 5 regular search results, and then search ads again. How crazy is that? And not just for Google search, even on YouTube, Google is testing lots of new AI features, like summarizing large comment sessions on YouTube mobile apps, generating translated audio tracks on automation, all powered by Gemini AI. All is to keep you on Google's platform more by consuming more content, searching more. In fact, Google searches have increased by over 20% year on year, but same time the click rate also dropped by 70%. And Google knows this much better than you and me that this is conflicting with its core business model. And more than that, AI overwhelms are being blamed for its poor quality that so many users want to opt out. But Google is still doing it anyway. Why? Because Google is facing lots of pressure from other AI search engines like ChatGPT. Yes, ChatGPT is still accounting for very little of search market share, and Google is still strongly dominating the search, but we can't deny that Google is losing market share on search, and for the first time below 90%. And this also means projection on Google search advertising market share decline as well, given more AI search platforms are coming. And the most alarming thing is younger generations love ChatGPT more than Google. So what's the solution from Google? AI Mode, a new search mode that is delegated to give you a complete AI search experience similar to ChatGPT and Perplexity. In my opinion, this is the ultimate last resort because only this way, Google can create some more new revenue opportunities by showing ads on AI Mode and have the chance to test more dedicated AI search features. The fundamental problem of Google is that its search business is mainly rely on search ads, unlike ChatGPT and Perplexity, which is based on subscription. I have spent some time studying Google's patent document related to AI overwhelms generation. I also came across a fantastic article from Rich Sanger. I will put all the links below. Although Google's patent doesn't reveal every single details on the process, but consolidating everything I've gathered, this is the most likely process. I'm not going to walk through the whole process, but what I want to highlight is whenever users type in the search queries, 4 types of search result page are being selected. Query responsive, results that are directly relevant to the search. And second, related query responsive, results that are relevant to semantically similar searches. And then reason query responsive, results that are relevant to the user's recent searches. And then implied query responsive, results that address what Google's believe the user is really searching for. And most importantly, the evaluation process are depending on 3 types of factors. Query dependent measures, including how complete it answers the query, highly matching with keywords, third ranking position, and etc. Query independent measures, including what Google defines as content quality and authoritativeness, comprehensiveness, content freshness, and recency, trustworthiness of the sources, and if the sources can be verified, and etc. And then user-dependent measures like user past search history, user interaction data. Once we understand what Google is exactly looking for, there are 5 implications we can get on how we can optimize Google AI search. First is having a strong brand authority and consistency signals. As we can see from the patent document, Google will use query independent measures like your domain popularity, authorship to determine if that's a trustable source before it got finally selected. So branding will be a big part to succeed in Google AI search. And I always emphasize your brand is better to be known than found in the AI age, especially in your own niche. A simple check is to know what your brand is being associated with in the eyes of Google. On any SEO tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs, SEO ranking, or simply just on Google Search Console, filter your pure brand terms. What are some other topics my brand is also being associated with and ranked together? And if these terms are making sense to you. So in this example, Logitech is often associated with topics like keyboard, mouse, gaming, and this is exactly how Google AI understands what topic your brand has authoritative in. And if you find any misalignment or no topic that being associated, that means there is still work to be done for your content strategy to provide stronger signals that your brand is associated in certain fields. There are ways to fast-track this process. One way is to partner with other brands in your niche in doing content creation together and leverage their visibility to increase these signals. Another way is to actively gain brand mentions in relevant publications, media in your niche by contributing your unique insights. It doesn't have to be earning a backlink. Even if it's just a brand mentions, it will strengthen the signals for Google AI. And if you really have no idea where to start, you can also ask ChatGPT to give you a list of well-known media and publication in your niche and which accept article posting. Another important aspect is consistency. Since Google AI will try to pick a diverse sources for resource diversity, how consistent your brand is showing up across all channels are also very important. That means we want to make sure it's 100% clear to LLM that it knows our business and offerings, what the brand does, who it serves, the phrase you use to describe your brand and offerings. AI is based on entity or what we call concepts, so they might interpret your brand as separated if they found any inconsistency. A simple check is to ask any AI to draft you a detailed brand overviews for your brand based on what it knows, and so you can identify if any knowledge gaps, so you can fix it on your website or other channels and to ensure it uses the language and message that you want to use. And don't just check on one single AI, check on all popular AI search, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot. And make sure you always use the same language and messaging across your website and all the active digital channels, marketplace, Google business profile, and extend beyond just Google. And so that leads into the next strategy, query intent expansion and coverage. From Google's document, we can see that the system will pick search results, not only those that are more relevant to the queries, but also it will retrieve results using related queries, recent queries, and even implied queries. And this is particularly the case when Gemini can't find a good results. So to improve the visibility, your content strategy should focus on creating content not just targeting the primary queries or keywords, but also to the thematically related terms and potential follow-up questions users might have. What else you can answer more and go beyond the initial query, so you can address the true intent for the whole user search query. Besides doing a reverse engineering on highly random results, you can use different SEO tools to research the question. All those popular SEO tools or even some niche tools like Also Ask, QuestionDB will give you a more focused view on the question to guide your content strategy. If you prefer doing it yourself and don't want to use a paid tool, you can always do a simple filter search on Google and find this question. I have another video talking about that, you can check it out. Another way is to actually use AI and ask it to propose the possible thematically related terms that you can include in the content by giving the target search query. And then you can increase the chance your page will get selected for all the variations of the search queries. And when you create the content using this approach, also ensure the content depth and readability. Being direct in the content to address the search query for AI overwhelms doesn't mean it needs to be shallow. A study from Calvin Eden comparing the top 10% of cited content versus the bottom 90%, you can see that content depth measured by word counts and sentence count has one of the strongest correlations with AI citations. So ultimately, we're building a strong content ecosystem for Google and Gemini or AI search engines to understand your domain area. It all starts by understanding your niche and which area you want to dominate in the search space and being consistent. And that means not just your websites, all your active channels should use the same content strategies and they are reinforcing each other. And that comes to my next point, is to start investing in other content formats, especially videos and audios. Every AI model is increasingly multimodal, especially Gemini is designed with native multimodality. It can understand images, audio, and videos, so don't just do text for your SEO, but videos, audios on other social platforms like Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. And I believe Gemini and other AI models will only expand the needs from these content formats in answering the user search queries. Especially YouTube videos is really the time to invest if you haven't started yet. The citations from YouTube on Google AI overviews are showing a month-on-month increase, particularly how-to videos, product demo, product reviews are doing particularly well. Google's even mentions it will continue to surface content from creators, which signals YouTube might be a huge opportunity coming. And YouTube is consistently ranked as the top visited website globally and is the second largest search engines. I always say that probably your audience is already on YouTube. No one watches TV now, even for this YouTube channel. 70% of views happen on TV. And Google will only expand more on YouTube and all the features like voice search and integrate it with its AI-powered search result page or AI overviews. So you will enjoy the first mover advantage before Google is fully expanding in this area when Gemini becomes more advanced. Again, my tip is always go back to your content strategies. What are the burning questions your target audience have regarding your niche? Address them in either video or audio format, or do all of them if your resources allows, so you can maximize the chance to get visibility on AI search. And so our next strategy is about optimizing your content for AI crawling, especially your website, which you can control. Besides the optimizations like adding structured schema markup, clean metadata, clear formatting, which enhance the readability for AI crawlers. To be considered for AI overviews, you must ensure your website can be crawled and indexed by Google in the first place. The easiest way is always check on Search Console indexing report, and if your website pages are being indexed, then you should be fine. And note currently you can't opt out your brand from potentially being cited on AI overviews unless you also opt out for Google search altogether. Another way is to make sure your robot.txt allows AI crawlers to have permission for the essential pages. So here is a list of popular AI crawler names, and you can specify which pages you want AI to crawl. A side note is that if you're concerned about your pages being used by AI for training purposes and which may impact your site performance, there are separated agent names you need to use. I'll put the resource link below. Just like the case for Quora, it has intentionally blocked Google bots to crawl some of the pages and blocked Gemini completely to collect the site data for training purposes. So review your existing robot.txt for these AI agent specific settings. Another thing to know is about the LLM.txt, which is the newly proposed standard for AI agents crawling your website content. But note, it is still in discussion. In short, it aims to provide more context about your web pages for AI agents and how they should be accessed. You can try that using the LLM.txt Generator to get a sense of what it looks like. I will also put the link below. Now, another important thing is that we can't just track traffic or clicks as the only success metrics for SEO anymore. If you're still doing that for a brand or clients, you must start educating them now. Of course, clicks are still an important indicator. But besides referral traffic from LLMs, I highly suggest to also start tracking and optimize for these 4 important metrics. First, total search impressions. Google has explicitly mentioned they won't break down the search data generated from AI overviews, but it is being included. So while clicks might decline or flat, if search impressions keep increasing, that means Google is still pushing your brand on its search result page or through other on-page search features, which is a very important good sign for AI search. And second, brand mentions or brand search volume. And I would say brand mentions might be even more important. It's less just for SEO, but for your brand as a whole. The more frequent people are discussing your brand, the stronger branding signals you are sending to Google. Besides tracking on SEO or social listening tools, you can actually set up Google Alert for your brand if you just want to start with a free tool. But note that Google Alerts only track what Google has indexed. And third, total number of rendered keywords. More rendered keywords often indicate a wider topical coverage for a brand, especially those are long-tail keywords which has higher search intent. I suggest you set up a Looker Studio dashboard for this, since on Search Console there is a cap limit of 1,000 rendered keywords reporting. But quantity is not enough. Quality is also important, and that's why the fourth one is tracking the conversions and revenue generated to make sure these rankings are really translated to real business impact. And finally, never just rely on Google search for search visibility. Google is still dominating, but it is undergoing a lot of changes and everything will become so unpredictable from now on. If your site traffic or revenue has over 50% reliance on Google search, this may not be a healthy sign. Diversify your content creation efforts to all the growing social platforms and to all the search engines. If you want more inspirations, I have a community. You can find the link in the description to join. And before you go, I also have a whole playlist of SEO videos which you will find helpful. I will see you next time.